Yeah, pop-up storms, even some right now showing up on radar. Currently out of the coastal bend, but areas in northern Bee County, northern Live Oak County, possibly into Refugio County, may start to see a little bit of action here shortly. So we're taking a look at our current radar. This is the flood warning I was talking about. So it's McMullen County, south of Tilden. The Nueces River is in a flood warning through Friday. Right now it's minor flooding. We're not expecting it to reach that next flood stage, just staying in the minor level. So that next flood stage would start at 16 feet. We're staying around 14 feet, peaking or cresting into tomorrow morning. Here's a look though at the radar. So these storms are moving from the north and a little bit to the south and west. And so they're moving what feels a little bit backwards, but this is going to kind of trigger our activity into tomorrow morning if they do not survive, which a lot of the model indications show these storms not surviving. So here's a look at your current radar. Now here's the current model. So it's a little bit more north than what the model is a little bit more north. So if we track it a little bit into the south, it does have the storms dying, but they may get into our northern counties. However, I want to point out this is Cape, so this is energy in the coastal bend. So they could stay fueled a little bit longer than the model is showing. So that's just something to keep in mind. We are not expecting these storms to be strong or severe, but they do have some lightning associated with them, as well as some heavy downpours. So that's all I'm expecting at this time. Maybe a brief wind gust, but nothing too crazy is expected. As we look ahead to Wednesday morning, we see some pop-up storms, especially late morning or once the sun comes up. Then it's pretty much fair game because we start to add heat to the mix. And so we'll see those storms developing as the sun rises. And I do expect much more coverage across the coastal bend tomorrow through the late morning and into the afternoon. Lots of pop-up storm action, a decent amount of rain for some, while some locations could still wind up with no rain at all. So not the easiest forecast to say, yes, I guarantee you some rain tomorrow, but our odds are pretty good, especially in mid-coastal locations like that Highway 77 corridor and up Highway or Interstate 37 as well. As we get into Thursday, coverage a little bit lower. We lose the boundary, that stationary front I showed you earlier. We lose that heading into Thursday, so I don't think our coverage is quite as high. But it does go back up into Friday and Saturday. And Friday and Saturday are a little bit of a tricky forecast because we're playing with upper level energy once again. So clusters of storms could be possible Friday and Saturday. Right now, we're not expecting anything severe. But here's what I mean by that upper level energy. We see this cutoff low once again over kind of the Baja California region. That's going to bring up moisture. Also, pieces of energy spin off that and then can take some of those storms over the mountains in northern Mexico and push them into our area. That could be possible Friday morning. So that's something I'm watching for. Then we still expect some pop-up energy or pop-up activity into Friday afternoon and even into the weekend. But as that low tracks north, our rain chances should start to trend down as it takes a lot of the moisture north and east along with it. Again, Friday is the day that the Weather Prediction Center does have us with a marginal that's low, but a marginal chance of some flooding with those storms moving in. Also, I talked about this earlier. I've posted a video in more detail on social media, but this is a weather pattern that can lead to tropical funnels. We saw several of you saw a tropical funnel in the Portland, Ingleside, Gregory area of the coastal bend. And so that happens when our winds aloft are faster than the winds at the surface. We get speed shear, and that helps create rotation in the atmosphere, which then can get tilted and lead to a funnel. Now, these are common in warm and humid months. They're usually very weak and short-lived, and they rarely make it all the way to the ground. We will be very muggy and mild tonight, 76 degrees. Tomorrow, maybe a tad cooler with more storm action. We may not make it to 90, but heat index values are still expected to be around 100, especially if you're not seeing those pop-up storms. So pop-up storms through the early afternoon, weakening as we get later into the evening. Your average high for this time of year, 90. Without a storm, be ready for heat index values to be back around 100 to 105. With a storm, you may be more so around 90 for your feels like temperature. One more thing, at the beach, limited parking in the morning as the tide is high, but it doesn't look like quite coastal flooding. Waves are looking really great by Friday with an 8-second period, but be careful. That will lead to a bit of a moderate rip current risk. So always swim with a buddy and be prepared for that scenario. Overall, temperature staying right there around 90 degrees, upper 80s, and